Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of my podcast, The Sidecar Spin. I just thought I'd start off by introducing myself. I'm Natasha Sky, I'm 41 years old and I'm from South Australia. I'm a mum of two daughters who also ride a sidecar. I am a retired professional Muay Thai fighter and spent 3 years living in Thailand competing. I've been a trainer for the past 13 years and run my own small fight gym from home. I also have a hair studio from home where I specialise in braids and synthetic dread installation. When I'm not working in the gym or the studio, I am a homeschool mum and a moto volunteer and racer on the weekends. I've been racing solo dirt bikes since 2021 and I've been racing on sidecars since the start of 2023. So when I was a little kid, I used to race motocross in the late 80s, and I remember seeing the sidecars racing and I just thought they were so cool. Like, it was awesome. My dad always used to say that he was going to get my brother and I a sidecar, but it didn't ever happen. The closest thing we got to a sidecar was a sidecar BMX push bike, which was really hard to ride because someone had to pedal with two people on there, and we always used to have fights over who had to pedal and who got to swim. We didn't race long due to finances, so once we stopped at the motocross track, we didn't really have anything to do with it again from there. So fast forward a few years, up until 2020 when I first started riding, and 2021 when I started racing. I thought sidecars had disappeared because I'd never seen them anywhere at any race events or anything like that. I started asking around to people about them, and they said that they had their own race events now. The only other club that you could find them at was the Morgan Motocross Club, because they always had a sidecar class during their normal motocross events. So after finding out that sidecars still existed, I actually came across Lara Wedge on Instagram. I was following all the motocross girls, and I'm pretty sure a video of her and Brian popped up doing this huge jump at South Coast on the sidecar, and I was like, what the hell? And then I realised that she was a mum and had not long had a baby, and they were husband and wife team, and she was the rider, and it was just super cool. So I started following her and just watching all the videos and looking at all the pictures. It was unbelievable. It was so cool. She was a real inspiration. I went to Morgan on an Easter long weekend race event, and I remember seeing sidecars there, and they were awesome. And it was so muddy. And I remember heading up to the start gate, and there was an all-female team, and they just flew out of the gates, got the whole shot, and it was just awesome to see, and I was so pumped. And when they got back, I was expecting them to be these young motocross girls, and they get back and they take their helmets off, and they were middle-aged ladies, and I just couldn't believe it. I was in awe, and it really inspired me to want to have a go, because I thought, you know what, those ladies were absolutely awesome, amazing. And I always thought, I'm too old to be having a go at that now. But after seeing them taking their helmets off, they had mud everywhere. You could barely even see their skin. Their whole clothes were covered, their bike was covered, and it was just the most coolest thing ever. And I couldn't wait to be able to have a go on one. And then one day, because I was on the South Coast committee at the time, one day the sidecar group came out for a practice day, and I got chatting to them, and Lara and Brian offered me a ride. So of course I was like, hell yeah, I want to have a turn. And so I jumped on with Brian and did 2 laps. It was so hard, so hard. I couldn't believe how physically and mentally hard it was. Like, I didn't expect it to be that hard. And yeah, after 2 laps, I was absolutely buggered, but I loved it. I thought it was so cool. And then a couple months later, they were out there again, and I jumped on again with Lara, and we did another 2 laps. And yeah, I was hooked. I was buzzing for weeks after that, and I just could not wait to have a turn. Then a couple months later, in March 2023, I got a message from Eliza Wedge, and she wanted me to jump on and be her passenger for the all-girls female race event. So I jumped on with her on the KX 500, and yeah, only after doing a couple of laps like months before. So I had no idea what I was doing, but I got it, like, we worked it out, and we didn't crash or anything like that, and we got around safely and had an awesome day. Like, it was so good, and it was just so rewarding. Like, it was just so fun to be able to do something like that. And then a couple weeks later, I got a message from Caroline, who was one of the awesome ladies that I saw racing at Morgan. She was like the reason why I wanted to do it. Like, yeah, it was amazing to get a message from her. She was like my idol, and she asked if I'd jump on and be her passenger for the motocross event there. So I jumped on with Caroline, and yeah, it was so cool. I absolutely loved it. And then the next time I rocked up at Morgan, Rob Schmidt was there, and he was looking for a passenger. So I thought, oh, well, I'll jump on with him. So I ended up jumping on with Rob, and I've been on with Rob ever since. So that was back in 2023. And yeah, I spent the whole 2023, 2024 as Rob's passenger we did motocross, dirt track, and we also did the hill climb at Collinggrove on the bitumen. So that was a cool experience. But yeah, so then back to 2023, Caroline messaged me again and asked if I'd jump on with her to do a reliability trials. And I had never done anything like that. I wasn't very experienced, so I'd only done a couple of sidecar races before in motocross. So I thought, oh, well, why not? Jumped on with Caroline. And it was the most brutalest, hardcorest thing that I've ever done. It was the Robertstown 2-day reliability trial. So it's 2 days, 6 hours each day, and the terrain was like something I'd never experienced before. And like, I never thought that sidecars could go where sidecars go, like up the creek beds, through all these rocks, and bloody through huge bog holes of mud, and oh my god, like, it was absolutely insane. I was absolutely wrecked. After the first day, I could barely even move. My hands were like seized. I had all the skin ripped off all of my hands, and I was in so much pain, but I was determined to keep going. And the next morning I woke up, because we'd gone through all this mud the day before. My boots were all wet and gross. My helmet was wet and gross, and I had to put all my wet, yucky gear back on for another 6 hours. But yeah, it was brutal. I'm just so lucky that I had so much support from like the other passengers and other riders, and like from Caroline to get through, because I've never been so close to thinking like physically that I just could not do it. Like, it was insane. Yeah, so I did that one, and that was the only one I did in 2023. And then Caroline asked me if I would be her passenger for 2024 series. So yep, of course I wanted to jump on with her again, and we did the whole 2024 reliability trial series, and it was really awesome. I learnt so much. Like, the first few events, Caroline was having to like give me a lot of instructions through the intercom, and like, yeah, it was a lot. I needed a bit more of her instruction to know where to be and stuff, but by the end she was barely even saying anything on there, so I must have been like improving and being in the right spot, and like, we built that trust together, so that was really good. And I had an absolute blast. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anyone else. She's an absolute legend. And yeah, so she asked me to jump on with her again in 2025. So I can't wait for that. I am so pumped. Motocross wise, I bought the sidecar that Caroline and I rode last season off of Caroline, and I'm going to be using that one to try riding. So unfortunately I won't be able to jump on with Rob unless we have more than one class, because I'll just ride in the beginner race your mates class. But yeah, so I'm going to give riding a go. Hopefully we'll be able to have another all-girl team. I've got a couple of girls that said that they would jump on with me. Yeah, so that'll be cool. So I'll be riding in motocross on my own sidecar, swinging for Rob if he needs me in other classes, and swinging for Caroline in the reliability trials. So that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, that's hopefully going to be a big 2025. And I've also started this podcast, and I am a volunteer on the Australian Sidecar Cross Committee, so I be doing stuff for them. I run all the social media and stuff for them, and yeah, just all around hype girl, love sidecars, can't get enough of it, just want everyone else to be able to enjoy what I enjoy, and I just bloody love it. And I love listening to all the stories and all the like legends of the sport. Like, some of the stuff that they come out with is just mind-blowing, and just like watching all the like kids, like I love watching the kids get into it. We have got some really talented kids coming through. We have quite a few females either riding or swinging, and a few all-female teams, which is awesome to have more girls getting involved. The whole sidecar community has just been amazing. They have been super supportive, really helpful, happy to give tips where they can, and just help you out all around, be really encouraging and friendly. And yeah, it's just a great environment to be in, and it's just so much fun. Like, I do an event and I am just pumped for weeks. I just cannot wait for the next one. I just want to do a shout out to all of the awesome riders that I've had too over the last couple of years. If it wasn't for Lara and Brian, I don't even know if I would have ever even been able to have a go on a sidecar, which, you know, I probably wouldn't have got hooked if it wasn't for them. So thank you to them for that first time and offering me a ride and getting me hooked. And thank you to Eliza for having me on the side for the first race, like when I had no idea what I was doing. She was pretty game. And Caroline for like trusting me to jump on for the reliability trials and coaching me through. And yeah, I've learnt so much from her. She's amazing. And Rob and I have done so many races together. I've had so many cool experiences. We got to do the dirt track. That was just so much fun, something completely different. And the Colin Grove hill climb, I would have never thought that I would be hanging off the side of a sidecar going up a bitumen hill. Like, that was just insane. So yeah, thanks to Rob, legend. And also I jumped on with Nick Higgs from Queensland to do the classic and post-classic Australian titles at Port Pirie last year, and that was awesome. Like, to have the opportunity to jump on an old wasp like Norton like in the Australian titles was like, I will remember that forever. That was just such a cool experience, and you know, it's probably something that I might not ever be able to do again. So I'm thankful for Nick for coming all the way down from Queensland and trusting me to jump on with him. And yeah, thanks guys. It's awesome. I've loved being a part of it all. So yeah, that's a bit about me. I'll stop babbling on now. Hopefully have another episode out with a guest in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting this. You'll have to bear with me because I've never done anything like this before, so there might be a few crinkles. I just want to do a shout out to my sponsors as well for all the support that they've given me, and my new sponsors for 2025. So Lee's Spot On Motorcycles at Mount Pleasant, Might Win MX motocross giveaways. New ones for 2025 is Rhythm Motorsports, so Zach's at Lobethal there, he can sort out your suspension. And also Throttle Girls, awesome brand by Taylor Eve. And Sticky Pixels in Murray Bridge, Philippa, she's doing all my stickers on my sidecar, so pretty thankful for that. And yeah, thanks guys, and see you all soon.